Now, recently in a piracy show, I talked about the security measures in the current version of Star Citizen, which is, I'm speaking specifically of bounties for players who basically have a wanted status. And the fact that once you have triggered a bounty, anyone can accept it and they can see where you are in the verse at any given time. Some people not all that impressed with this system, and I shockingly somewhat defended it. I said that perhaps this is the reflection of what criminal activity in a high security system will result in. You know, this could be a legitimate system, and this could be the way it is. Now, I don't entirely agree with the implementation, but suffice it to say, visibility as a criminal is something that you may want to think seriously about. And many of us have spoken about stealth ships over the years. Or is it possible to convert this ship, that ship, or another ship to a much more stealthy configuration while not being a bespoke stealth ship? They would be a ship that would allow you to slip in, get where you need to get on the surface of a planet, do what you have to do, and get out without being seen, especially as a pirate. That would be something of a plus. Now, some time ago, CIG introduced a ship that was something that a lot of us were looking forward to. It was the stealth boarding ship, though strangely enough, in a recent video, in the latest video in fact from CIG, they referred to it as an armored personnel carrier, which no. What? But, you know, mistakes obviously were made. The Prowler and I have something of an interesting history. For those of you who weren't around back in the day when it happened, when the Prowler was originally sold, I mentioned many things about it that were praiseworthy, things that I liked about it, and oftentimes people forget this, but if you go back to the original video, I point out a number of things that I really do like about this ship, and the whole concept of it is something that I'm a big believer in. However, its exterior originality was something that I deeply questioned. And, you know, there were a lot of people who held a differing opinion than myself on that and took me to task over that. And I defended myself, I think, at the time quite well. And then later on, over time, I kind of played something of a little prank on the community where I would frequently substitute this ship in a video when we were talking about this ship with images of the ship that I supposed it had drawn a large amount of inspiration from, and apparently no one noticed for 2 years that I was doing this. So I feel I kind of made my point. But all of that aside, I want to get back to the fact that at its core, this is a solid ship design. In fact, the only true gripe that I have with this ship was its price tag. The $450 price tag for essentially an alien stealth cutlass minus the cargo capacity is something that I found a little bit over the top. In fact, about $200 over the top, if you ask me. And I kind of want to add to that even though I feel that it was very overpriced, there are times when I see this ship, when I look at this ship and I think about what this ship is supposed to be and what this ship is going to be. And I do question that decision to not buy the ship. I really do. This is something that I've always asserted is probably going to be one of my first targets as a ship to acquire in the persistent universe when it becomes available. Figure out how to get it and then get it. That is one of the things that I am certainly going to be after in the universe, because the usefulness of this ship is unquestionable as something that allows you to kind of sneak around, deliver troops, get in and out of difficult mission locations, and do what you got to do. The value of a ship like that, especially in a universe with open world PvP and stealth mechanics and all these things, is, I mean, it's undeniable. The value of having an item like this. It was the price that was attached to it that always kind of pushed me away. But I've always, I've been a little bit jealous and always kind of wondered, like, damn, should I have done that? Should I have jumped on that ship? Well, of course, to add to that feeling was seeing who was working on the Prowler and the Prowler's current state. So for those of you who don't know, the guy who's actually working on the Prowler is Elwin Bachelor. I'm sorry if I mispronounce it, but this is the guy who did the Caterpillar. This is the guy who has had such a heavy influence on so many of the ships that come out of Drake. Yeah, there he is. And in a weird way, I feel like when you see Elwin working on a ship and you see what he's doing with the Prowler, and there are so many core things that are right with the Prowler. The way the cockpits are laid out, the way the instrumentation is laid out, everything about the interior of the ship. And not only just from a functional point of view, but from an artistic point of view, I kind of feel like Elwin is kind of taking some of the other artists to school and showing them how you can marry form and function and create truly great ships. I mean, when I see the work that he produces, I kind of feel like this is a guy who's working on a whole other level compared to others. I mean, when I saw this control column, I was like, that's damn genius. That's awesome. That's absolutely awesome. What a great solution. The fact that it has this kind of blacked out but visible from only one side cockpit and all this great stuff on the ship, there are so many good ideas in this ship. And to see who is the one who's bringing this ship to life, I mean, damn, dude. Damn. This is such a good ship. I am going into the anniversary sale. I was thinking, I don't know if there's really anything out there, but I don't know. I might get out of big ships for something like this. The price tag attached to it kills me, but damn, dude. Damn, this ship is really turning out so great. And there are so many things about this. I mean, it's not just a question of, it looks really cool, man, so you gotta buy it. It's the way things are laid out, the way things are put together, and the idea of just a dedicated stealth transport. Does it have to carry cargo? Not really, when you're just trying to get troops in and out, but it can carry the small cargo boxes, obviously, that you will need to carry for certain missions. Carry an assortment of weapons, armor, that sort of thing for you and your friends, and allow you to get there, hopefully, if you've got the skill. If stuff goes in the direction I hope it does, where it's more relative to the skill of the pilot rather than just a straight up static number. Like this thing has minus 30% visibility, but if it's really down to the people who operate the ship as to how invisible the ship can be and how easily or how difficult it is for them to slip in and out of places where they're not wanted, this could be a monster ship. And you guys know that I'm big into stealth gameplay and just about everything that I play. I mean, Jesus, I played a rogue for how many years? I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm looking at this ship and I'm thinking, maybe. It's obvious from the content that we're getting, caverns, locations on planets and all these missions that are related to them, that the ability to get in and out of places undetected, especially for a pirate, is going to be a fairly important thing. I mean, there's an obvious risk and a threat that comes from being exposed for so long. I mean, when I was looking at that, I was imagining it in my head, and I was like, can you fit a space bike in there? Do you think you can get a space bike in there? I think that you might be able to. All of a sudden playing the Will It Fit game with this ship, which is something I generally don't concern myself with all that much, but damn, dude. The Prowler, I mean, I knew that the Prowler was going to be a good ship. You know, appearances aside, I knew it was going to be a good ship, and it was going to be a useful ship. And the thing that pushed me away from it was that $450 price tag the first time it came out, and probably closer to $500 now. Who knows? We'll find out at the anniversary sale. But I mean, the usefulness of a ship like that, especially if it is one of these medium quote-unquote ships that has the easier time traveling through quantum as compared to a fighter or something like that, this could be something really interesting. This could be something that maybe I was wrong to avoid, or maybe I was right to avoid it. Focus on much more fundamental things, and then just have the money in the verse, or have the means to make the money to just buy the ship in the universe. Perhaps. But I definitely think that when the ship hits live, and now that we see it in production, now that we see that it is in fact on its way and going to come into the Star Citizen universe, I think definitely when I do see them out in the universe so often, when we get new ships, I'm really not that jealous. I mean, when people were showing off the 890 or the 600i, I was just like, okay. But I think this is going to be the first time in a long time that a ship comes out into the game that I don't have, and I look at it and I go, I am genuinely jealous of the person who owns that ship. So I'm definitely going to have some thinking to do when this anniversary sale comes up. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.
Thank you for watching. So if you want to keep up with the latest and greatest in Star Citizen and Squadron 42's development, please follow us on our social media channels. See you soon.